Peace. What's happening, good people? This gift here for Pay Us No Mind. And today we're talking about Apple Music paying artists 10% more and the ramifications of all of that, what it means, how do you get the 10% more, all of that good stuff, as well as monetizing outside of Spotify and just examining that whole system and the dynamic and how it all breaks down. And then we'll get to a Q&A if anybody got questions and all of that good stuff, or I'll get on up out of here. All right. So let's check out what is happening with Apple Music first and foremost, right? So here was the news that broke. Hold on. So you had this news break where they're like, Apple Music to pay artists up to 10% higher royalties for music available in spatial audio. So spatial audio is like some type of, I guess, immersive audio that's supposed to be like almost like surround sound where you can hear all of these nooks and crannies of a song and things of that nature. So everything is kind of like, seems like it's shifting more towards trying to create like a quality listening experience and focusing on quality music and stuff. So it says starting this month, music available in spatial audio on Apple Music will receive a greater share of royalties from the platform. And an update sent to its label partners on Monday and seen by Music Business Worldwide, Apple Music confirmed that spatial audio content will receive a royalty rate up to 10% higher than content not available in spatial. According to Apple Music's update to its label partners, starting with the January 2024 month-end royalty payments, pro rata shares for spatial available plays will be calculated using a factor of 1-to-1, while non-spatial available plays will continue to use a factor of 1. So the thing with this that I look at, and I'm like, the catch, because what you got to understand about streaming and the royalty system is that it's a pool. It's a revenue pool that everybody splits. So anytime they're giving somebody more money, everybody else gets less money. Because let's say there's $1,000 that we all have to split. When they say they're giving somebody 10% more, that means that they're taking 10% out of that $1,000 that everybody gets paid from and giving that to a certain group of users, and everybody else gets 10% less. So they're kind of in a way coercing you into having to do spatial audio, because if you don't do it, not only will you miss out on getting 10% more, but you're going to get 10% less. You know, now the thing with this is, the issue with this is it's not free. So first off, your music has to be like mixed for spatial audio. Then on top of that, the digital distributors, they're not just allowing you to do it as part of your standard digital distribution package. You have to pay an additional fee for spatial audio. So it is, I think Toon Core charges you an additional like almost $30, and with DistroKid it's the same, $30. And CD Baby, I don't believe they allow you to do spatial audio, so they don't even have it. So a lot of digital distributors don't even offer the ability to do a release in spatial audio, and the ones that do are charging extra for you to be able to do it. So that's an additional $30 or something like that per release if you want to be able to get 10% more on your streams to take advantage of this spatial audio feature. So, I mean, on one end, it's cool because it's like, okay, cool. Well, it's an opportunity to make more money, but then it's like you got to spend more money to make more money. Now, I'm not a technical person. I'm not an engineer. So I don't know what it takes to have or to prepare a song for spatial audio to where you could get it mixed like that, whether it's just a click of a button, a plug-in. I'm not sure exactly what it is, But yeah, I mean, you guys would know better than me who do your own recording and stuff like that and your own mixing. But I mean, from the challenge of getting the recording done in a fashion that fits the format to having to pay the additional fee for it, I don't know if, I mean, 10% could be worth it depending on how many streams you get. So it all comes down to how many streams you get, how difficult it is to get a song recorded in the format, and the cost, whether it makes sense, like with in regards of, yeah, back to how many streams you get. So that's where it kind of break down with all of that, man, with the spatial audio thing. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is like just monetizing outside of this system of streaming and even sales. Because it's like, when I think about sales and when I think about this digital landscape, it's like what everybody does in all of these platforms, from Instagram to Facebook to even Spotify and YouTube and these platforms, it's the monetization of free. People consume, nobody pays seemingly, but the advertisers foot the bill. So it's kind of like you think about the Super Bowl and how everybody gets to watch the Super Bowl for free. All of these people, none of us are going to pay to watch the Super Bowl except for the people that go to see it live. Everybody sits at home and watches the Super Bowl. So, and nobody pays for it. But at the end of the day, you got advertisers spending millions of dollars to run ads during the Super Bowl. So like $1 billion, or really what the number is, $500 million. $500 million is generated in one day from the Super Bowl in ad revenue. And nobody pays for it except the advertisers. And that's the way that the system works with all of these platforms. So it's like you upload media to Facebook, to Instagram, to all of these different platforms, and they monetize that content that you upload with ads. And they make a whole lot of money from it. And then you, as an artist, in order for you to make money, either you have to meet some type of qualifiers that they set up or sell stuff. So it's like they're monetizing free, and the only way you can make money is if you can get some people to buy something from you. And it becomes really challenging because the only thing that the artist has that people want is the thing that they're getting for free on the platform. So it's like you got content, you uploading content to the platform that people enjoy, and that's why they follow you. And now the only way for you to make money is if you sell them the content that you're giving them for free. Doesn't make any sense. Sell them the song that they already have available on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube. Doesn't make any sense. So now you got to do extra work to create another product in order to sell that you could sell to them, physical or something like that, and for most artists, that just doesn't happen because the risk is not greeted by the reward. A lot of people just don't want to buy anything from the artist. They liked the song and that's all they wanted. And outside of that, there is nothing, and they have all of the access to it that they would need. They could go to YouTube and hear it whenever they want, Spotify and hear it whenever they want. So it's very difficult to sell anything. Now, when you think about it, if you know how like advertising works, online advertising, it's like everything floats through like what they call a CPM. That's a cost per 1,000 times an ad appears. So every time an ad appears, let's say somebody is paying $10 CPM. That means that the ad is costing them a penny every time it appears. Now when going along the lines of these CPMs, if you run an ad, let's say, right, a lot of you guys advertise to get your music on, not to get your music on Spotify, but to get people to Spotify streaming your music. That's what you do. You advertise on Facebook to get people to Spotify to stream your music. Now, in that sense, you're running an ad to get people to Spotify from Facebook to stream your music. If you get 1,000 people to Spotify to stream your music and they stream it, it makes you $3. $3, right? But with advertising, you get paid a CPM as a publisher. So if you got a web page and you got content on a web page and you're getting $10 per 1,000 times somebody hits that web page, or $20 per 1,000 times somebody hits that web page, that means that you would get $20 for those 1,000 hits, or $10 for those 1,000 hits if you had a $10 CPM or a $20 CPM. Now, Spotify is paying you $3 for the same 1,000 hits. Now, added on top of that is the fact that 1,000 clicks from a Facebook ad to Spotify, or 1,000 clicks from Facebook organically or whatever to Spotify is not 1,000 streams. So let's clarify that. It's not 1,000 streams because you got barriers to access. First off, not everybody has a Spotify account. Second, most of the people that have Spotify accounts are on the free tier. And third, the people who aren't on the free tier that have the premium, a lot of them might not really be enthusiastic about the song. So they might not stream it long enough for it to qualify as a full stream, because only 30 seconds counts as a full stream, you know? So yeah, let me see what people talking about. Let's see what they saying. All right. Somebody said, so if you record in spatial, you'll get more from Apple Music if you record it in Dolby. Yeah, you will. So yeah, man. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you have your own website, it's $10 CPM, $20 CPM, 1,000 hits earns you $10, $20. Spotify, 1,000 hits earns you $3. But not really, because if you think about it, you got 3 billion Facebook users, right? It's 3 billion Facebook users and 500 million Spotify users. So that's what? Because I'm not the best at math. I think that's what, like 16%? 16% of Facebook's audience are Spotify users, you know? So if you ran an ad and reached 1,000 people, you know, if you ran an ad and reached 1,000 people, that might be 116 of those people potentially would even have Spotify. So out of 1,000, 116 might be Spotify users. Then out of that 116, you look and say, well, what percentage of them might have a premium Spotify account where they can stream the music on demand? And if you go by how many Spotify paid users out of the number of actual users, it's like 39%. So you're talking about maybe 25 out of that 116 that would even be able, 25 out of the 116 that would even be able to stream the music on demand. And then out of that 25, only the streams from the people who listen to the song for at least 30 seconds would count. Let me get this out of here. Yeah. Only the streams from the people that listen to the song for at least 30 seconds would count. So you might be talking about like 12 people out of 1,000 people, like 12 listens out of 1,000 people. So you might earn like, like 3 cents or something like that from those listeners. Now, the thing that always gets me with this is it's like artists, for the most part, seem to have like an aversion to ads, you know? So it's like they don't want to have ads, like if they have a Smartlink or something like that, they don't want ads on there. Now, I understand it from the standpoint of if you got a website, you don't want ads on it. But something like the platform that I made where we got these basically middleman pages, those, dude, ads. Because all you got to do is get people to the page to monetize versus having to get people to some place that they might not have an account and then hope that they have a paid account and then hope that they listen for a certain amount of time before you make a penny, you know? And that's like the difference between just sending them to a website and sending them to Spotify. Now, the thing with the website and why it makes sense to kind of like operate as a team is because the more traffic to a web destination, the more valuable the web page becomes and the more costly it is for advertisers to run ads on it. That's, again, going back to the Super Bowl metaphor or analogy, rather. The Super Bowl thing, So many people watch the Super Bowl, and because so many people watch the Super Bowl, advertisers got to pay $1 million to have an ad show during the Super Bowl. As an individual artist, you might not get the amount of traffic that would allow a page with your music on it to accumulate the kind of value for you to be able to make a whole lot or command a whole lot from advertisers. But if you got a central place where a group of artists are sending people, then that platform collectively will escalate in value, and advertisers will have to pay more to advertise on that platform in general. And then everybody on the platform benefits because of it. So this is where it could make sense for everybody to kind of like break into groups or, operate as one unit. And you send everybody to one place and you run ads on that one place, and everybody gets the revenue from the ads that they generate on their page. Now, let me go back and show y'all. Pull this up. Let me see. Is this it? This is it. This is it. Let me see if this will load. Yeah. Yeah, so these are like the web pages that I'm making. And it's a part of me that I might turn these into more like Smartlinks or something like that. Matter of fact, because I didn't change anything. Hold on. But yeah, so you see, I'm a bit silly because I got this silly profile picture. That's something my daughter drew. But yeah, so it's like you would have like the artist's cover artwork and maybe a buy link or something like that. Or, hold on. Yeah, maybe a buy link or something like that. Or, right now, you look in this sidebar. And this is what I'm talking about with like making it a smart link. Because if I made it a smart link, not only would the artist be able to monetize with ads, so it's like you see that ad right there, and then you have like maybe another ad at the footer, and then anybody that hit that page all they got to do is come to this page, and the artist is earning revenue from them hitting this page. And then we could incentivize them. So here, it's like you see I got listen, earn, like learn, listen, share, earn, with a call to action. So it's saying, hey, create an account and collect points. So every time they hit this page, they will earn points. And we could give them points, give them more points for doing things like sharing the music. So if they share the music to Facebook or Twitter or something like that, they earn more points. And if they comment, they earn more points. And if they join your mailing list or something like that, they earn more points. So it might be like 100 points to join your mailing list or something to that effect, right? Now, those points can be used to do something like unlock a digital download. So it's like they could get a free download if they take these actions to unlock enough points or to gain enough points to unlock the download. Or you could incentivize them in any way you want, where you say, okay, well, I'm going to be doing this concert or something like online, and only the people who have X amount of points can gain access to it, or have these points, basically certain point totals become badges, where it's like once you get 1,000 points, you get a certain badge, and that badge unlocks access to certain things. So it's like by incentivizing them with the points, then you create a system to where now they have a reason to come back. So if you got like a new song and you say, hey guys, come check out this new song. Yo, I come listen, check out this new song. I get more points. Those points are good for rewards. To give away a bundle of a t-shirt, a CD, or something like that once a month in a raffle. Only the people who got X amount of points can participate in the raffle. So it's like, this is what I'm building, right now. Now, I'm going to tap in. I'm going to see what everybody talking about in the building, man. And this is a link to the platform in the description box. So right now we have the track pages, but I definitely think what I might do is turn it into, again, Smartlinks, where there is the song, there is a description of the song, and there is links to like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, because I don't want to restrict and like basically try to make it seem as if it's a streaming platform, because it's not really that. We just trying to monetize and make money, off of the traffic that we bring to these places, right? And then they could go wherever they want to go. You know what I'm saying? We're not twisting it on. If they want to just bookmark it and come back there and listen, we ain't mad at that, because the more they come back, the more ad revenue we earn, and this could be at the artist's discretion, because at the end of the day, listen, if an artist kept his music off of streaming platforms and just put his music up on a page like this, to where if somebody wanted to come back to it, they had to bookmark it and come back to it, they would earn more from that page than they would streaming. Because every time that person came back to the page, ad revenue, ad revenue, ad revenue, ad revenue, versus bundling your music into a playlist where they stream it and then you're competing with everybody else for revenue. Because the difference with advertising versus streaming is, with advertising, the more views you get, the more money you make, the greater the value of each view. With streams, the more streams you get, the lower the value of each stream, because it's one pool of revenue. And no matter how many streams you get, the revenue stays the same. The revenue does not grow with the amount of streams. People do not pay based on consumption with streaming platforms. So if I am paying $10 to stream unlimited amounts of music on Spotify, that's what I get. I can stream unlimited amounts of music. So the more music I listen to, the lower that $10 earns the less that $10, or the less valuable that $10 becomes for Spotify. So it's like $10 divided by 1,000. If I listen to 1,000 streams, if I listen to 20,000 streams, then it's $10 divided by 20,000. The more I listen, the greater the number that $10 get divided into. So that's the difference. You have a YouTube video up, the more ad revenue, the more views, the more ad revenue. So that's the difference. But, as we know, YouTube has a monetization threshold that artists have to reach. So a lot of these platforms, you could make a lot of money if they remove the thresholds, but they don't. So it's like, okay, well, what could I do? And that is what inspired me to create what I created. Now, I'm going to see what everybody talking about in the building, man. Shout everybody out and see what y'all got to say. So if you're in the building, let me shout you out. All right, so we got Zope Belafonte, we got Long Distance Traveler, we got Efeche Music, what's good, my guy? DPM Network, what up? Long Distance Traveler. Atis Constant, what's good? Terrence, what's up? Purcell Valor, what up? Deco 2K, what's good, what's good, what's good? Right? So let me see what y'all saying, man. Deco was like, what'd he say? So all the artists now in 2024 gonna break their neck now to have their music on Apple. The rest gonna even be able to compete with Apple Music. I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, the challenge is that Apple Music is a closed platform and Spotify is not. That's why everybody focuses on Spotify, because you don't need to pay to use Spotify. Like, you can pay, but you don't need to pay. Apple Music, you can't use at all unless you're paying. So, an artist is promoting their music, and maybe a small percentage of the people that they're promoting their music to would be paying for Apple Music. You know, despite where you make the most money, you can't force people to go where you want them to go. You know, that if we had the power to just force people to do what we want them to do, we'd be selling them CDs or having them buy digital downloads, because that's where you make the most money. But that's not what people want. People don't want digital downloads, and most people don't want CDs. So you can't sell it to them. So despite, like, if Apple could turn around and say, we're going to pay you $5 a stream. But if people don't want to use Apple Music, you ain't going to make a lot of money there. Yeah, you say only artists who, no, not all artists, just the ones with spatial audio. If you don't have spatial audio, then no 10% for you, my boy. Terrence says, what do you think about even music digital? Like, yo, it's just too many digital distributors, man. You know? Word, man. It's just way too many digital distributors. Every time I turn around, somebody asks me about another digital distributor that I've never heard of. It's like, have you heard of this digital distributor? It's like, yo, at the end of the day, I mean, and I could see if some of these digital distributors were doing something different, like, you know, something exciting or something like that, you know, but a lot of them are doing the same thing. It's just, hey, we distribute your music to stores and we charge you $20 a year. And then the artist is like, well, should I use them? It's like, no, it's a new company. Nobody's even heard of it. What's the reputation? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who's behind it? That's the thing. And maybe that's what you guys turn to me for, right? You say, okay, could you take a look? And I'll take a look. You know, I'll take a look. Yeah, people say, hey, man, I'm curious about your input on even, so he's just pressing about it. Dope. They're full so much. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out, man. Zope Belafonte say, this is a great idea you have, Gift. Definitely makes sense to me because it's creating revenue for the artist based off just the traffic. I mean, listen, you great. This is the reality of the situation, bro, is the dynamic that we have right now with streaming platforms and this new threshold that they're implementing. It is based on record companies saying that despite whatever people listen to when they get there, they deserve the lion's share of the profit because they're the reason that people are there in the first place. So that's their justification for taking most of the revenue, is the fact that, yo, I don't care if somebody comes to Spotify and listens to GIF 90% of the time. GIF shouldn't get 90% of the $10 that they pay because they came to use Spotify because of Taylor Swift or because of Jay-Z or whoever. That's what got them there. They came there because it was like, I could listen to all of these popular artists here. And then when they got there, they discovered GIF and now they stream GIF all of the time. But they didn't come here because of GIF. And because of that, we deserve to be compensated with the lion's share of the profits. That's basically their argument, you know? But the reality of the situation is this is how everybody's making money. And if you guys notice, it's not just with platforms like websites and things of that nature. It is you notice how all of these subscription platforms, from Netflix to Amazon Prime, even Apple TV, they're all starting to introduce ads and having lower tiers where you could pay $5 and get ads, you know, instead of paying $10 a month and stuff like that. And it goes back to what I was saying before about the fact that as people consume more with ads, more money gets made. With subscriptions and things of that nature, the more people consume, the lower the value of the subscription fee. So with these platforms now having to pay more money for licensing and pay more money to have like their own shows developed and things of that nature, because they're competing with each other for viewers and things of that nature, as those costs escalate, this guy is still paying the same $10 he been paying, right? That's not making them no more money. So it's like you have a Netflix account, you watch 1,000 shows, 10,000 shows, the value of your $10 is just diminishing with Netflix. So it's like, well, if we could get this guy to say, all right, we're going to charge you now $20 a month. And if you don't want to pay $20, then you can get bumped down to where you get ads. And now the more you watch, the more we make, as opposed to the more you watch, the less we make. Long Distance Traveler says, what's funny about new spatial formats is artists that break their neck to get on them, and the next thing you know, it's the next VHS, lost and gone. Yo, me and my wife were just talking about what the hell happened to Blu-ray. Remember that? Like, what happened to Blu-ray? It was like that stuff came and disappeared. It's like you had HD, then for a stretch people were talking about Blu-ray, and then that just kind of like went away. CD Baby is the best shot in the dark on distribution. I mean, yeah, CD Baby, I think, man, is probably the safest bet. You know, like I always looked at CD Baby and was like, well, I don't like the fact that they take a percentage of revenue, you know, but it all depends on how much you make and what they do. And now they've added in stages. So stages is like this new thing that they got where once you cross a certain threshold, then they don't even charge you anymore for digital distribution. So you don't have to pay $10 per release. Once you cross a certain threshold, it's just 9% of revenue. So then it becomes more like a partnership. And then they open up other things for you. Like they help you get verified on Instagram. They'll do playlist pitching. They'll do music video distribution. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they do for artists now once they cross that threshold to justify taking that 9% when you start making money, you know? And then other platforms aren't doing what they say they do, right? So it's like with Toon Core. I love Toon Core. I support Toon Core. I still say they're one of the best digital distributors, them and CD Baby, 1 and 1A still. But Toon Core has decided to come out with this thing called Toon Core Accelerator, the Toon Core Accelerator program. Now, this accelerator program doesn't really do much for you, man. You know what I'm saying? This accelerator program, it puts you into discovery mode, which is supposed to help you get your streams up. But first off, like I told y'all before, discovery mode is a total scam because it just effectively manipulates all artists into accepting 30% less. But at the same time, let's just say, okay, well, cool, it's going to boost my streams. Let me do it. You don't need a third party to facilitate it. You can go right in Spotify for artists and opt in to discovery mode. It's not anything that you need anybody to do, you know? So you don't need nobody to do that. And then on top of that, they got like the YouTube creator program where people can license your music to use in their shows and things of that nature. Now, the way that people want to use music, that program isn't for. So people can't go and license a song from creator music on YouTube and then upload your full song to YouTube. That's not the way it works. That still would be a content ID situation. So it's not something that is valuable in that regard either. So, and those are the things, that's the core of the program. The core of the program is the creator thing and discovery mode. And neither do you really need like Toon Core to facilitate. I mean, the creator program, yeah, but you'll be fine with content ID in that sense. Now, the kicker is the fact that once you cross a certain threshold on Toon Core, like once you start making money, they automatically opt you in to the accelerator program. So you automatically get opted into it. Now, The accelerator program takes 20% of your revenue. Now, we all know that the reason that we use Toon Core is to keep 100% of our revenue. That's the point of using it. Keep 100% of your revenue. But they will automatically opt you in to the accelerator program once you pretty much start making money. Like once 20% becomes a nice chunk of change, that's when they'll automatically opt you in and start taking 20% from you, you know? And that to me, I was like, I don't really like that, right? Because it should have been an opt-in, like by your choice. Like you have to opt in. So it's like you cross a certain threshold, they notify you, hey, you're eligible. And then if you choose to join, then you join and they can do whatever it is they're going to do. But making it automatic to me seemed a bit funny, you know, because how many artists are going to be checking to make sure that they're not in the program? People go and distribute their music and just go about their business. And whatever they get in their royalty reports is whatever they get. So most artists aren't even going to know that they're getting 20% taken from them because they've been automatically opted into the accelerator program. So it's just kind of like a way to take 20%, you know? And again, these platforms, they look in, these distributors, they look in and they say, okay, well, how can we make more money? You know? So it's like, all right, well, we're going to charge them $20 for unlimited digital distribution. They overloading us. They putting up all these different releases. Okay, how can we squeeze more out of it? So they're coming up with programs like this. So everybody is kind of like scrambling, trying to do things. But yeah, I just don't like that move. I feel like that should have been by choice, not by default. You know, especially with the fact that I don't know if they even notify you, man, you know. But yeah, that to me seemed a bit weird. Yeah. Zope says, what's your thoughts on NFTs today? Do you see any real value in them as limited mints per release inside of a system like you created? I mean, the system I created, it can work well with, you know, so it's like basically the badges could double as NFTs. And I have effectively like I'm a part of a platform that allows me to like mint unlimited NFTs. So it's something that I could easily do. So anytime anybody, like basically, let's say I'm working with you, you know, if you say, okay, I'm going to create these badges, we could create like a NFT counterpart for those badges. And anytime somebody reaches the point where they achieve an accomplishment to get one of those badges, then they have the option, not a requirement, but the option of minting the badge as an NFT. And we wouldn't charge them for it. It would be free. So the thing with NFTs and why that whole thing imploded and collapsed is speculation. And for those that don't know, speculation is like a investment term. And speculation basically means it's gambling. A whole bunch of people are saying, hey, I'm going to put $20 on this item, hoping that it turns into $40, right? And that's the only reason that they're buying, not because they want the item, but because they think that it's going to be worth more money. And that was the whole thing with NFTs. People buying stuff, hoping that it became worth more money. And there was no reason for it to become worth more money. It was just all market manipulation and stuff like that. So outside of that, it just doesn't make sense when there isn't the possibility that $20 can turn into $40 for you to go through all of the challenges of collecting NFTs and, you know, gas fees and wallet creation. And it's just super complicated for no reason. Now, giving them away free is a different bag, because what the technology facilitates is it's an anti-fraud technology, because one reason is the fact that if somebody, like NFTs are stored in a wallet, and the wallet with crypto is like your bank account. So your money is in there. So nobody is going to be giving people access to a wallet where they have money in, you know? So when it comes to sharing access, nobody's sharing access because nobody's giving anybody else access to their money. So that eliminates what you call like sharing, where somebody gets a link to something and then they say, hey, here's a link to this exclusive file I got. You could check it out too. That's out the window. So now everybody that wants access has to pay for access, or they have to earn the badge too so they can gain access. So that's where it becomes valuable with things like that. And also with just like a rewards and a reward system, from the standpoint that it's effectively, with crypto and NFTs and all of that stuff, it's like a floating database. So right now I don't know if you guys remember, but it was a platform called Lum, and Lum, they was making a pitch that, hey, based on where our system, you get to know who your first fan was. You could track back and be like, okay, this was the first guy to support me and all of this other stuff. But Lum collapsed. Now, because Lum collapsed, all of that data was stored on their servers. So gone is all of that information. So the pitch that they was making, that you'll always know who your number one fan is, done. Because you can't know, because their servers went down. Now with NFTs, or crypto rather, it is a floating database. It is an independent database, not connected to anything. So if I have my website set up and you got people coming in consuming your music, and they earn these badges, and then they mint those badges as NFTs. And let's say, God forbid, my website decides to shut down. You still got that database that has a record of everybody that took those actions on the platform, that pre-saved your music, that joined your premieres, that streamed it, that shared it, that took all of those actions. You still got those things registered on the blockchain, and those badges registered on the blockchain. So you could go to your own website or anywhere and create gates and say, okay, you can only gain access to these advanced tickets if you have these badges or whatever have you, because the information is still there, because it's stored on the blockchain and not on pay us no mind servers, right? So that's where the value of NFTs come in. It's an independent database, not connected to anything. You have subscriptions like Substack, stuff like that, Bandcamp, where people have artists or fans paying a monthly fee for access to content. If tomorrow Bandcamp or one of those platforms said, hey man, we're going to have to close our doors. Hey, now, dude, everything is stored on their databases. You're restricting access to content based on passwords and stuff like that that's in their databases. So now everything is lost. But again, if it was like a NFT or something like that, you could take your ball and go home. So that's what it kind of opens the door to. But the reality of the situation is not everybody wants that, because platforms, first and foremost, they want control. So it's like if you look at Spotify, Apple Music, Facebook, everybody punishes you for taking traffic off of their platform. So it doesn't make sense that they would integrate NFTs in a way of it being like an independent database. Now they're talking about it. So you got Universal Music Group and them. They're talking about basically creating a system that I created. They're talking about gamification, where artists earn points and earn badges, and those badges can be NFTs and things of that nature. So I'm not the only person thinking like this. They're thinking like it too. They're just trying to get the streaming platforms on board. Now, where it makes sense and where there's still space for my platform and other platforms like mine is the fact that it's centralized with them. So if Spotify decided to adopt something like this, where they was like, okay, cool, well, you could come to our platform and, people stream your music, and the more they stream, the more points they earn, they unlock badges. And then when you drop a new release, you can make it exclusive to the people who have these badges and stuff like that. It ties you to Spotify, and subjects you to whether Spotify wants to notify people that these badges are available and what they can do with them and stuff like that. So in a sense, it's kind of like this YouTube membership thing that you have right now. It's like people can join and pay money to become a member of my YouTube channel, right? But by the same measure, YouTube does not notify you guys if I put up something that is exclusive to members. So if I upload a video that only members can see, YouTube isn't going to notify you. So what sense does that make? at the end of the day, what it creates is a situation where you might feel like you ain't getting no value. Like, damn, son, I subscribe. I ain't seeing this dude do nothing. I'm a cancel because what am I paying for? But there's content there. You just don't see it because YouTube isn't notifying you, because their whole system is constructed around who brings more traffic to us. We make more money the more people come to our platform. So if you upload an episode every day and you bring in traffic, then they reward you through the algorithm with making sure people know you exist and making sure people know your content exists. If you are driving traffic off their platform, then it works in the opposite, and they're going to bury you and make sure that people don't know you exist and make it harder for people to find your content. So it's like you want to sell stuff. You want to get people to buy your stuff. They don't want people to leave. So that's where it's like a clash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Efeche said, your subscribers always asking you for new distribution. It's funny. I think I will start a new distribution. Yeah. But Zope Belafonte was like 20%. That's some scam stuff, in my opinion, Toon Core is doing. I mean, yeah, the 20% thing is weird to me, man. Because that's not what people signed up for. So it's like you signed up to keep 100% of what you make. So then to just auto opt you into something that takes 20%, I'm not feeling that. DPM says, GIF and another detail, most distributors, they don't show how much they receive before deductions. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're not going to itemize that, because with some, it ain't that big of a deal, right? They paid 30% to iTunes. They paid whatever percent to Amazon. But others, they're using middlemen. And there's a lot of money that you're losing by them using those middlemen. And they're not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody did this. This is not an honest business. This is where all of these new tech companies that keep popping up offering to clear up the mystery of royalties and all this other stuff. It's like it's going to go nowhere because people make money off of the fact that there is so much misinformation when it comes to royalty collection. Like with the MLC, dude, if your royalties don't get collected, the people who are responsible for making sure you collect your mechanical royalties from the MLC, then it's yours. That just doesn't make a whole ton of sense, man. Yeah. Let me get on up out of here, man, before this thing cut out on us once again. But yeah, man. Y'all, man, feel free to hit me up, man, at Pay Us No Mind on Instagram or on the Pay Us No Mind platform, because y'all could go there, sign up, and message me there too. And I'm going to just start making it so everybody just message me there rather than us being on Instagram and stuff like that, But yeah, man, y'all can hit me up there, right? And, oh, man, this is cool, man. I like talking to y'all, man. This is fun, being back on camera and all of that good stuff, man. Yeah, yo. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. As always, y'all can hit me up at Pay Us No Mind on Instagram, at Pay Us No Mind on Twitter, payusnomine@gmail.com. This is Gift signing off. Pay Us No Mind. Peace, good people. One.